What is good, everyone? This is your host, Deanna Radulescu with Label Free Podcast. So, live your best life, you must live label free. As always, bring incredible guests from all over the world. So, sit back, relax, and tune in. My next guest is empowering single mothers to thrive through positive intelligence coaching while amplifying nonprofit organizations dedicated to their success. She's the founder of Above and Not Beneath. She's also a podcaster. Please welcome Robyn Sears. Robyn, welcome to the show.
Yeah, thank you so much, Deanna. It's a pleasure to be here.
It's a pleasure to have you. So your story started out with a little bit of struggle yourself.
Yeah, a little bit of struggle myself. I was a teen mom. So I had my oldest son at 17 and got married, which just is an extra level of challenge.
Oh, yeah.
That didn't last.
Sure.
So, right, which I think is the statistic.
Yeah.
But we were married for almost 17 years.
Wow.
And I was privileged enough to be able to stay at home. And so what happened is I got divorced, and then all of a sudden I had to support these kids.
Yeah.
I had to go to work, and I had never really worked outside the home before.
Okay. So that's
it's a challenge. It's a challenge, and figuring out like transferable skills and all of that. And ended up working at a first boss was very challenging individual, learned a lot, as we always do with challenging situations. And then I ended up working for an entrepreneur, a gentleman, he and his wife, and they were mentors to me and poured into me in such a powerful way. It was an incredibly healing experience to work for them, and also provided me with an opportunity to really grow and invest in myself. And that sort of set me on this trajectory to learn more about coaching and mentoring, and really to take a look at the challenging situations in my life that I've been through, and to assess, what have I actually learned? Who am I today because of those challenging situations? So yeah, it was a challenging start, but grateful for all of those moments.
Well, now it's led you to a place where you are passionate of helping other women that are single mothers. And I think that's a huge thing. And I think that is let's just refer to it, a label that is not very becoming for a lot of women. And it actually like carries a lot of weight.
It absolutely does. And a lot of the women that I work with have come out of, like, the situation I came out of with was like, rainbows and unicorns. In comparison, some of these women are coming out of domestic violence and sex trafficking and just really challenging situations. But they are fighting for themselves. They're fighting for their children, and they are pursuing, they're on this path. It's called the path of sustainability, where they're working, and if they haven't had a car, like, they have a car now, and they are getting education, and they're moving up in the workforce. And it's just, it's such an incredible community to be a part of. And I'm inspired by how hard these women are fighting for themselves.
Yeah. My mother was a single mother. So my father was around until I was like 15. He was abusive. And so more towards me and my mom, because I'm the oldest of 5. So there's 5 of us.
Yeah.
And when he took off, he emptied out the bank accounts, charged up other credit cards, never paid child support. And so it was like me and my mom against the world. And, when he left, she was pregnant with my youngest brother, and she worked so hard. She would clean, but she would go cleaning on her hands and knees while pregnant, 6 months pregnant, cleaning bathrooms. I'm going to, at that point, I had gotten my driver's license. I'm going to the food pantry to get food for us because we could barely eat. She's got 5 kids. She taught us, me and my sisters, a lot about what it's like to be a strong, independent woman in a good way, and how we can fend for ourselves, and that there are always resources out there so that we can survive no matter what.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's the theme of what I see for these women, is that they're scrappy, and they're determined, and they're resilient. And still, sometimes at the end of the day, of course, you're going to have a hard day.
Oh, yeah.
They're smiling, and they're so grateful that they have their children. Yeah. And it is so beautiful to see and to know that they have fought so hard and been through so much to be where they are today.
Yeah, oh, for sure. So At what point does someone come to you or work with you?
Yeah. Really at any point. So a lot of the work that I do, it is about kind of shifting your perspective and taking a look at the lessons that you've learned from hard experiences in the past and how those lessons have transitioned and built within you the sense of resilience and how you can take that resilience and use it for the future. So, maybe somebody who's in the middle of a domestic violence situation, that's not the right time to talk about this, right? Like
Right.
somebody who is fresh out of divorce, probably not the right time.
Yeah.
But somebody who's a little further down the road who's now like, okay, the monkey's off my back. It's time for me to look at the future. What does my career look like? What do I actually want?
Yeah.
And so we'll sit down and have a conversation. It's like, okay, what do you want? What are the challenges that you're facing today? And how can we take a look at the skill set that you already have and what can we do to enhance it?
Yeah, that's beautiful. And do you have, I'm sure you have plenty, but can you share maybe a story or two, a success story of what it looked like for a woman that came to you and what it looked like for her after working with you?
Yeah. So it makes me, we'll use pseudonyms.
Okay. Yeah.
um, but it makes me think of a young woman. I'll just call her Alex. And she had been divorced for a little while and was really thinking about like, she had a job, she had a stable apartment, but was really thinking about like, I want more than just an entry level position at work. What do I need to do to get to the next level?
Sure.
And so we really were able to sit down and talk about, what does it look like? How are you showing up at work? Is there a skills gap? Do we need to, do some courses to kind of fill a gap to make you ready for the next position? And then also coaching her on how to have a conversation with her managers. Like, I want the next thing. If you don't raise your hand or have the confidence to raise your hand, your manager's never really going to know.
Yeah, exactly.
And so just, through a series of coaching conversations, we're able to just help her actually build up the confidence to have the conversation. And then also, for her to be able to put her, her hat in the ring
Sure.
for promotion, and then she got the promotion. So it was just exciting to be able to see her eyes open up and go, oh, I can do this. I was always told I couldn't and I wasn't enough. But you know what? That wasn't true because I am.
Yeah. So that confidence piece is really important.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that's what a lot of single moms happens when you go through, a challenging divorce is it's like your confidence is decimated.
Yeah.
We put so much emphasis on marriage and the success of marriage. If your marriage is successful, that means you personally are successful, but that's also not true.
No, definitely not.
And so it's, kind of coming through that and starting to heal and put the pieces back together and like, oh, I was believing a lot of things that actually weren't serving me.
Yeah. And I'm sure it helps them too. They can relate more to you because you've been a single mother at a very young age and gone through that. I think if you hadn't experienced that yourself, it would be hard for you to like connect with them and help them through that process.
Yeah.
And very cool.
Definitely a challenging time in my life.
Wow. And look where you are today. Right. They say if you're going through a hard time, there's something great happening for you that's going to happen for you on the other end of that. So you talk about amplifying nonprofit organizations dedicated to these women's success. Can you talk to us about what that means?
Yeah. So there's so much good going on in the world, right? It's like we turn on the news and it's all negative, bad, and, the world is ending and everybody's fighting. And I'm so tired of that.
Yeah.
And I've had the privilege of being involved with some incredible nonprofits that are doing phenomenal work in this space.
Okay.
And it really lit me up. And I was like, okay, I'm excited about this. And I want to talk about them.
Yeah.
And if I can talk about them and people will listen, well, then maybe a couple things will happen. Maybe one, they'll decide to donate because that would be awesome.
Yeah.
Because these nonprofits are doing great things. Well, doing good things, it's not free, right?
No, it's definitely not.
It takes a community to support others. And so part of the goal really was like, could we drive some donors here? Like this would be awesome if somebody was like, you know what, I love this. I'm going to support this organization. The other part of it was, shedding some additional light. So if somebody needed that type of service, to be like, oh, there's something, I didn't know that was a thing.
Right.
So just sharing some awareness. And the other thing is that it's a positive thing, and it's a way to encourage other people. And it's like, there are organizations out here that are here for you.
Yeah.
There is absolutely no shame in saying, I need help.
Right.
Raise your hand. I need help. Because there are people there who actually love you before you walk in the door.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a huge thing. I think that a lot of women don't realize that there are a lot of resources for them. Wherever you're listening at in the United States or in the world, there are resources out there for the people that want to help you. And so that's especially if you're a single mother. So I think that's huge. But what if someone comes to you and is like, she's gone through this change in her life, this significant change in her life. She wants to work with you, but she's having a hard time getting the money together. Do you work with women when it comes to finances?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I absolutely will. I believe so much in what I'm doing and the women that I'm helping that I feel like the other will come.
Oh, sure.
Right.
Yeah.
It is, I think, I was reading something the other day about, if you pursue what you're called to, and all of the other things in life just fall into place. Right. Like my personal belief is I feel like God has called me into this work.
Yeah.
For a reason. And the other pieces, they're pieces.
Sure. Yeah. I think that's beautiful. What does it look like when someone reaches out to you and they want to work with you? Like, is there a process that they go through? What are the stages?
Yeah. So there's a process. I have and it's a 6-week program.
Okay.
And so I utilize the program. It's called Positive Intelligence. And if folks don't know about that, it's sort of in a nutshell, because I could talk about it for a really long time, but I won't. In a nutshell, for me, this is what it has meant. It has meant understanding the intersection between our thoughts, our emotions, and our physical being.
Okay.
So your thoughts fuel your emotions fuel your reactions.
Yeah, that's true.
So positive intelligence is really about learning how to be like present in the moment, not the mind swirling about the 800 things that coulda, woulda, shoulda happened, right? Yeah. But it's about calming yourself, recognizing the physical sensations that are happening in your body to come to, I hate to say the word centered, but to kind of come to a centered place where you're like, no, that's all in the periphery.
Yeah.
I need to focus for what's happening in front of me.
Yeah. No.
In a long-winded way, that's kind of what positive intelligence is.
No, I love that because many of us are so ruled by our emotions, and can lead us to make bad decisions or say bad things that we don't really mean. For me, it's taken a long time to know. I just call it like being in control of myself now. Yeah. But positive intelligence, I like that much better.
Yeah, and it is. But your body will give you clues.
Yeah.
You can feel like you have stress. I feel it right here in the back of my shoulder.
Oh, yeah.
I feel shame. I literally feel it right up on my left side of my rib cage.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So if you are kind of paying attention to what your emotions are and taking a couple deep breaths and be like, what am I feeling in my body?
Yeah.
And like my lower back is really tight. Huh. Your body is literally telling you, hey, heads up, there's something going on here.
Yeah.
So anyway, you asked me about the process.
Yeah.
So I do have it's a 6-week course, and there are some videos. We meet weekly. I provide a small group community. I like to keep the groups about 5 or 6 people maximum. I feel like that, provides, intimacy, allows for candid conversation. And sometimes it's easier to say things around folks that you don't know.
Yeah.
Right?
Agreed.
And so we work hard to try to create community there and hopefully build some lasting relationships. So we meet as a group, and I have a group going on. We'll meet weekly as a group, and then also kind of once a week to talk through like what is the lesson for the week, and to talk about like some other activities that might be helpful for them as they're going through this process.
I love that. Does it start with an intro call? to see if it's a good.
Yep, there's an intro call. So we'll have an intro call and just talk about start date. So, I like to start things always on the same day.
Yeah.
So there's some continuity there. And so other folks kind of know what the expectation is if there's a group. But yeah, definitely we'll have an introductory call. And also, I want other people to think it's assessment of me. Maybe I'm not the right fit for somebody. And that's completely fine.
Oh, yeah.
So it's just it's a quick meet and greet, and I lay out the program. It's like, this is something that you're interested in, and sort of this is what the cost is. If you can't afford it, great. Let's talk about that too.
Yeah, sure. I love that. Now you have a podcast.
I do. Yeah.
Tell us about your podcast.
It's tremendous fun.
Yes.
Yeah. So it is called Above and Not Beneath, and we're on all the streaming platforms. And I have just met some of the most incredible people from all over the world. Yeah. I just wrapped up season 1. So, gearing up for season 2, which I'll start here at the beginning of October. And it has really been such a gift. It was unexpectedly so. So I wasn't really sure what I was getting into. And the deeper I've gotten into it, the more I'm like, this is it.
Yeah.
Right. There are so many amazing humans out there.
There is.
Doing great things. And I want to spread encouragement and positivity to anyone who will listen.
Yeah. And so what can people, is it a solo cast or?
So I'm interviewing folks. And so it's some episodes are women telling their stories, kind of where they came from and where they are now. And then I always ask people if they'll share words of encouragement at the end.
Oh, I like that.
And so that's also fun to hear. Everybody always has something a little bit different, but I always want to end on a note of encouragement. And then also some episodes, I've got some incredible coaches who are doing some fantastic work. And then also nonprofit organizations who are working in the space and allowing them to just kind of talk about what it is that they're doing and their success stories and how to partner with them. So it has been really a tremendous amount of fun.
I love it. I just love how you light up when you talk about it. Robyn, where can people find you, connect with you, learn more about your podcast, and learn more about working with you?
Sure. So my website is abovenotbeneath.org. You can find me on Instagram at Above Not Beneath Coach.
Okay.
So you can find me in either one of those places. Send me a DM, shoot me an email, connect with me on the website. Those are the 2 best spots.
Excellent. You guys have put those links in the show notes, so don't hesitate to connect with Robyn. Go reach out to her if you're a single mother or know a single mother that could use her help and get them through this part of their life that is, maybe a little bit of a struggle for them. There is someone here to help them that has gone through it themselves. Robyn, this is the part of the show where I like to ask for last words of wisdom or advice. What would you like to leave with us today?
Yeah. So what I would like to leave, and it was something that a good friend of mine has said to me, and is to set the bags down. We're carrying heavy bags, right? It's anger, it's guilt, it's all those ways that we beat ourselves up, right? We're carrying the bags. And I had a dear friend say to me, after I told the same story 3 times, mind you, because I'm carrying this luggage, put the bag down. And I was like, what? And he said, you're carrying this around and it's not serving you.
Yeah.
Put the bag down. And in my mind, in that moment, I envisioned myself carrying those, those giant old-fashioned suitcases that weighed 500 pounds. How do people actually travel with those?
Yeah. Yeah.
In my mind, standing in a doorway and dropping them and hearing the kerthunk and taking a step forward. And then realizing those bags were holding me back. And when I opened those bags, there were actually gifts in there that I was missing.
Wow.
You had to unpack the bag to find the gift, but you got to put it down first.
Ooh, that is deep. I like it though. Yeah, that's good. Put down the bag. All right, you guys. Robyn, thank you so much for sharing your story. Thank you for what you do. The coaches I talk to amaze me because you're all so different and your niche is also different. And so there's a coach out there for everyone, especially for women that are single mothers. You are it. And I think it's a beautiful thing that you're offering coaching to them when they need it really bad.
Thank you so much. Such a pleasure to be here.
You're welcome. You guys, this is your host, Deanna Radulescu with Label Free Podcast. To live your best life, you must live label free. As always, don't forget to subscribe, follow, rate, review, comment, share, all those good things. And I'll be back soon with more dynamic guests.